Hey everyone, welcome to this basics series. I have a lot of you asking me to go over some of the basics that we go over in a Schwinn indoor cycling program. So this short video will teach you how to set up your bike perfectly. Okay, so we always want to start with the saddle. The hips are obviously where the power comes from in our riding. And we also want to make sure that we're not going to injure ourselves. So we want to be in a strong riding posture without any potential for injury. So we're going to start with the saddle. Now, the first thing we want to do is get the saddle in neutral in the fore and aft position. So whatever adjustments you need to make on your bike, get it to where it can do this, where it can slide forward and back. All right. So if you have numbers on the side of your saddle, you're going to want to put there's usually like a little line or an arrow. You're going to want to put that right in the middle of your numbers. So if you have a saddle like this that's long and maybe it's got 7 or 9 numbers, I want you to put your saddle right smack dab in the middle. Some bikes just have like a plus and a minus and then neutral. I want you in neutral. So on this bike, I don't have any numbers, but what I do have is this seat post right here. Okay, and that seat post, I'm going to line that up with the little arrow. So that's going to be neutral saddle for me right there. All right, so here's the deal. This is good for someone who is between 5 and 6 feet. So I'm 5'6", I'm going to be right in the middle. If you are taller than 6 feet, I want you to go back just 1 inch. And if you're shorter, I want you to go forward an inch. But let's try not to have this massive play forward and back. On a real bike, you might have 2.5 inches, and that's the only play you'd have. Okay, so saddle in neutral. Second, we want to get our seat hip height. So there are a couple ways we can do this. Get whatever shoes you're going to ride with on your feet, and then find the top of your hip bone. So you want to kind of palpate around a little bit until you can feel the top of the hip bone. And if I put my hands, my thumbs on top of my hip bones, I want my hand to be exactly on the top of my saddle. Okay. Another way you can do this is lift the knee, and you want your thigh parallel with the saddle, maybe the saddle a 1/2 inch higher than the top of your thigh. Okay. So the seat at hip height. When in doubt, go higher. Okay, so if you're kind of between two places, lower is where we tend to feel a lot of pain and injury to our knees. Okay, so higher is better on a bike and in life. Okay, next up is the handlebars. And you, my friends that are riding at home, there is no reason that you need your handlebars down low unless you are training to ride out in the wind, right? If you're training yourself to be aerodynamic. But since I know most of you are in-home riders, we're going to get our handlebars up all the way as high as they will go. So most handlebars have a stop or like a line that tells you that's as far as they'll go. I want you to get it all the way up to that. And then please make sure that that knob is nice and tight. You don't want wobbly handlebars. That's just annoying while we're trying to ride. Okay. The last adjustment that some bikes have is a handlebar fore and aft. And so if you want to just move your handlebars forward, you can get on your bike and try that. Backward. I tend to like my handlebars closer to me. That creates a little more stress in a little less stress in the shoulders. And I just feel really comfortable there as far as my low back goes. So here's the bottom line. This back here, the saddle is about performance and safety, right? Injury prevention. So it's really important that we get this one right. This up here, it's all about comfort. So you can choose handlebar height, handlebars forward and back. That doesn't really interrupt or change your performance at all. Okay. So let's get on and let's see how we did. The first time you do this, it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. You're going to get on and off a few times and until you get it just right. So what I want you to notice is I've got my bike adjusted. I've actually measured myself. So this saddle height is exactly where it should be for me. And so when I put my foot down, I'm not dropping the heel, I'm not pointing the toe, my foot's just neutral down at 6 o'clock. Can you see that I've just got a little bend in my knee, maybe like a 10-degree bend? It's not very much at all, but it's not that. Okay, so when my foot's at the bottom, I have the slightest bend in my knee. and that's what you want. If I were riding with my saddle lower, you'd see that knee really, really bent the whole time. That's, again, where we feel pain and potential for injury. Okay? So try out a few different things. When you get on your bike, make sure to move your sitting bones all the way back. So reach back there, feel those sitting bones. You want those on the edge of the saddle, even if that means your bum's hanging off the edge. Totally fine. All right, one more little measurement. Keep your hands on the handlebars, pause the pedaling, and turn your pedals so that one foot is at 3 o'clock and one is at 9 o'clock. So the crank arms are parallel with the floor. As you look down, here's the front of my knee. If I were to drop a string, a plumb line, which I probably should have had for this demonstration, you would want that string to go right through the middle of your pedal. Okay, so being backwards a little bit is okay, but what we wouldn't want is something that looks like that, where that string would drop forward of my pedal closer to my toes. Okay, so wherever the widest part of your shoe is, that's where you would be clipped into the pedal. You want the bottom of your kneecap straight over that. Okay, that's a little bit easier to figure out if you have someone else measuring for you. It's kind of hard to see from up here. But there you go. So once you find all of those perfect adjustments, and honestly, like, take your time, try some different handlebar positions. This is about experimenting. You're gonna find a sweet spot where it just feels good, okay? And that's where you wanna ride from here on out. Please message me if you have any questions. I'm super happy to help you progress with your riding. I'll see you in the next ride or tutorial.